Can you, before we move on to another thing on Raw, can you tell me what is Dave saying now about Seth Rollins? First, he said it was a work. Then it was a work, but he's really hurt. But he worked being hurt so that it would cover for him being hurt. But then he's maybe hurt, but he's not hurt as bad as what you would think he was hurt, so he can surprise people and come back early. But God damn it, a lot of the office and the talent is going to be mad when they find out that they've been worked because he's not hurt bad enough. What is he fucking saying?
I'm not sure what you just said, but let me try to summarize. There was a lot there, a lot of different viewpoints in a small period of time. Dave Meltzer, I saw, and I believe Brian Alvarez too separately, said that they heard, and I believe John Pollock was the person who's a credible wrestling journalist. They heard what was going to happen to Rollins in advance of what happened. And that there is a knee injury, but it wasn't injured when he feigned the injury, according to them, or according to whatever the story is, at that moment in the match. They had planned that out, and it went the way they expected to, so they could surprise people. And when you think it out, you're like, yeah, I guess if
they could surprise people.
Well, I guess if the main event of SummerSlam is Punk and Gunther, and the CM Punk Seth Rollins feud doesn't seem like they ever want to end it ever, there's a natural way for Rollins, who everyone thought it was a torn ACL. It was just, he got a scope. And he comes back, cashes in. That's what makes it, I think, logical to people that it may be a work, is the idea that it fits in line with what they're booking as the main event of SummerSlam. And now there's this story that apparently some people believe they knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened. So there's something going on.
Okay, and if he runs out and does a leaping series of jumping jacks and everything's fine at SummerSlam and cashes in or whatever, then I will come out here but you know what? I got fooled. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. But until then, if he has a knee injury already and they want to do an angle to cover up for it, as I'm following this story because it's minor, he needs to take care of it, whatever, then why does he, on a knee injury, want to injure it by doing a leaping fucking moonsault and landing on it in the middle of the ring? That might be a good way to fucking injure it, for fuck's sake, for real.
Yeah, that's the other question.
But secondly, why, even with Heyman involved, I say even with, the opposite of even with Heyman involved, I would have to think they'd be able to come up with a better way to do it than to just have a shitty fucking match on a big network TV show that they're going to shit to bed on later on with everything else to begin with anyway. Instead of, we're going to go fucking 2 minutes, because apparently it wasn't bad enough if it's a work. It wasn't bad enough that he didn't think he couldn't do a goddamn springboard moonsault off the ropes, land on his feet, and do whatever the fuck, right? So why couldn't they have a halfway decent 5-minute fucking match with some goddamn regular spots and then do some kind of moonsault outside through the desk, which would be probably safer than what they were doing there on a bad knee, and he can't get up from it. Oh shit. And then they do the, oh my God, we're all shocked and we got to call an audible and whatever the fuck, instead of just making it flat and fucking what the fuck and calling attention to that it's a bunch of fake bullshit that we didn't even bother to make exciting. Because they still know it's a bunch of fake bullshit, but we can make it exciting. I don't see how that with the minds involved, that would be the best thing that they could come up with to do on purpose, is what that is what they did there. So
right. And it was right after a commercial break. So the match had been going a little while. The announcers were talking about the fact that he has bad knees. or has a bad knee. And then they do that. If you're going to do a knee injury, why wouldn't it be something simpler? Why wouldn't it be something? Could have been anything.
Could have been more exciting. The match hadn't been going on television that long because of the commercial break. Did they format it? Oh, we'll go 90 seconds, we'll come back, and then we'll do this boring fucking flat finish about 60 seconds from there and just really fuck the people?
Well, here's the other problem. Well, again, you're trying to think about how this could work if it was a work. What's the finish to Gunther versus CM Punk at SummerSlam?
I honestly...
How do you get there? That's the issue.
I honestly believe that Seth may have been going to be involved in the match. I don't know now whether he will be or not. We'll wait and see. But that is a conundrum without Seth, but I think that it possibly comes down to Paul and Braun.
What if they did what if they did what you suggested last time we talked? What if they cashed in right there?
I'm thinking something they may do something. I don't know if they'll cash in, although that would be glorious. And that would shake people up. And now that you've said it, I'm fucking thinking I like it better. But at the very least, they will fuck with Punk, because by then they will be, pressing Gunther a little bit more. And we want to see that match. So that would help that match. And it would give Punk a reason to be mad at Paul's guys like he's mad at Seth if Seth is not around. If that makes any sense. But again, I don't care if they were trying to make it look like a shoot or not. The thing that still sticks with me is that is the crummiest, boringest looking, trying to make it look like a shoot that I've ever seen anybody come up with. So there's that. We shall see.